the Hoosier Triplets, a trio of Indiana authors road tripping through the romance genre and sharing what we love and learn. Welcome to our podcast.
This would go because this is your.
I don't even know how to introduce it, so I just like start bitching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you something. One thing.
Okay, an important public service announcement. When you buy a digital file, you're not actually buying a file. You're not buying anything except the right to access it. So all of the things that we're being told now about how Amazon is not letting us access that digital file, they're going to take it away. They're just taking away the access that you bought.
Okay, can I ask for a backup?
Yeah.
Because I know that you brought this to our little side messenger group. I had not heard anything about this. And again, like, I'm not really on social media these days, but where did this kind of stem from? This outrage that Amazon Kindle won't be
The reader group.
I don't know where it started from.
Okay.
But it is the
group.
same. Because the Kindle, Amazon changed something with their terms of service. They were going to make it where you couldn't like download the hard files anymore, which as an author, why do you need to download it off of Kindle? Because you can put a Kindle app on just about anything.
I'll
So
tell you
have
why
access.
you need to download those files. Because then you have them and then you can pirate them.
Yeah.
And as an author, anytime I hear this, that they want to download my book, that tells me that most likely they're going to pirate it.
Yeah, but I mean,
or
it's,
use it for AI training.
well, and it's not just for.
Or change,
Like
or just
a
change the
book.
character's name and maybe make him, instead of being 30 years old, he's 40 years old. Oh, and then publish it under your name, under a new title. But that's happened a lot too.
When you're buying like an, oh my God, is it still MP3s, like the iTunes music or download? I mean, you're buying the access to the song, but that can be revoked if you actually read in the terms of service. Like intellectual property, there's a whole reason that there's like, a specialty of law in with this because of this. I hate that it's being so like
If you
used
want
to
the
like
movie, buy
upset.
the DVD. If you want the book, buy the print version.
And
If
then
you
can
want
scan it.
if you want the song, buy the album, buy the CD. But if you're getting a digital version of it, you only have access to it. You don't own it. It doesn't like sit in your computer.
Yeah, it's really, well, it's kind of like property law, unless that you're making sure that your like deed has like all mineral rights and air rights. Then like you could buy land and own nothing under the surface or the air above it. Crazy, but like those are things to look out for. I don't know.
So you're saying if I lived right next to you, I could like dig like at an angle into your ground?
Only if you owned the rights to under the.
All right.
Do you all remember when that 3-letter organization for their book award deal went to digital copies? They, instead of sending you the paperbacks to read and judge, they sent us digital copies.
And that was like an enormous battle to
Well,
fight to get
and
that
all
to
the
happen.
publishing houses sent them watermarked because, we as authors, we were going to pirate these books,
From other authors.
for other authors.
We as authors who were judging.
Yes.
So they
That
were
you
afraid
volunteered to be in this contest, that we're going to send out digital copies of your book, but they went out watermarked. And I got one that I couldn't read. I mean, I could not read through the watermark. And I contacted my, the boss, and she was like, well, you could buy the book. And I was like, I'm not spending at that, $12.99 for an ebook. I mean, are you crazy? And, but it was, and she's like, well, we can ask them. And so then she got back to me and she's like, well, they want you to sign an affidavit, a witness affidavit, of course, that you will not, and I was like, well, I'm not doing that because if this book gets pirated, they're going to come back on me, no matter, even if I didn't. I was like, no, I'm just not going to do that. And she was like, oh, we hate that. And I'm like, guess what? I'm not judging anything. Bye.
Because it used to be that they had to send a print version of the book. So I don't know why they couldn't have also. And I understand why, for like the indie published authors who wanted to participate in that contest, it was easier and cheaper to send a digital version, you know, I totally get that. So, but, you know, to also make a print version of that copy available for those who absolutely needed it, you know, especially from a publisher, should have been okay.
Well, I hate to see, circling back to Amazon, that I know that the Amazon boycott and canceling like your KU subscriptions are like really hitting authors and their pocketbook. I have been out of KU for years, but I know that that is like the earner for a lot of authors. And I don't know that everyone that is taking this stand really understands that. I mean, it's not
not hurting Amazon.
Exactly.
Amazon's not making their billions off of books.
Yeah. When an author, you know, is making the majority of their income off of Amazon, and then KU specifically, you know, they're not always going to be the 6-figure author that, you know, has the mansion and like the vacation house. It could very much be this is what's keeping my lights on author, or, you know, this is wants to be my full-time job author, but, you know, I have a family, so I have to work something else, and, you know, it's going to kill the side hustle. So it's biting in the ass to kill the dreams of like the small guy.
Well, I think the whole idea of the boycott was to take back some power. But again, Amazon is not making their money off the books. The people it hurts most are the indie booksellers, the indie authors that you love, that you read in KU, and, you know, again, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. I mean, you know, let's think this through. There are other ways to show your displeasure.
Well, so here's the question. If they were angry at Amazon because of that, did they go to another online retailer to get did they go to Barnes & Noble and get the book instead? Did they go to Kobo and get the book instead?
I've seen
Are they boycotting them?
Some people talking about like doing Kobo, but I know the Kobo
But
e-readers
it's the same. You're still not going to own the book.
Well, I think it also fell into because some people think Jeff Bezos still owns Amazon. He does. He's a stockholder. He's not running it. And he went to Trump's inauguration and things like that. And he's a billionaire. Because on our backs, because we made him a billionaire. You know, they think that this somehow is taking a stand. You know, I'm not going to tell somebody not to fight their battle, but, you know, I don't know. I don't see this as a long-term change-making battle. I think this is going to be the same thing. Remember when they had, this is a few years ago, when the top producers in KU, they found out he was a real jerkhead, and like his team, like he was telling them to every day go through and page through the book so he would get the pages read, and all these people pulled out of KU. Oh, KU's terrible. It's unfair. It's, you know, they pack the book with the crap. You know, they're using huge font, and there's only 42 pages, but it's 120, you know, and things like that. And, you know, that went nowhere.
Well, there's always going to be people that are going to cheat the system. I know how Amazon pays out for KU has changed a lot. And then supposedly if you take like a pause with reading the book in KU, then like, so if you like read like 3 chapters and then you take a break for a week and then you go on, I've heard that then the author doesn't get paid for like the rest of the pages because they take it as like I said, I have been out of KU for several years, so I don't know.
Well, okay, first of all, I got to be honest. I don't think anyone really knows how Amazon does these things. I'm not sure that Amazon knows how they do these things. And, you know, so who knows? I mean, and I think if you're getting your information from social media or TikTok, there's a really good chance that it's not the full story, or you're not getting the most correct information.
It's like, consider the source.
Yeah, Cindy, read all the terms of service.
On the bright side of only owning the right to your ebook, you're also getting all of the updates. So when a typo is fixed or the back matter is updated, that's going to happen. You know, so that's sort of the trade-off of like you may have paid, you know, $5 or $6, or I mean, if I know some ebooks are getting up into the double digits. When it's that, I've always only bought ebooks when they're cheaper than the physical copy.
So how does that work? Because I know that I have updated my own books and my ebook versions have not updated.
Don't you have to go in and update and like like refresh.
Like, or if you archive it, like if you take it off of like, you know, and you like store it back in the cloud, so you're like you're putting it back in the Amazon digital library, like when you pull it back down next time.
I think the reader has to trigger
like manually say
the
yes,
update, because I know that I have seen authors say, you know, if you purchase this book between here and here, there's an update. Go you know to Amazon and update it. I do that. You know,
Apparently I'm not savvy enough.
I found it one day and I was like, hey, I guess this is what everybody's been talking about. You know, wow, if you mess around enough and search enough.
I would like this to be like a revolution for like the small guys, to where I'm changing my website hosting this year, and I'm researching, because so many do like the direct sales, like it's already integrated, so it's not something separate. To, you know, and mark like for ebooks, which you will get the file. You will get a watermarked or file. So you will own that copy and you can take it anywhere you want. But there will be no updates unless you buy it again. So that's the trade-off.
There you go.
And or what I intend to offer. But
so then, do you have concerns that they might pirate it?
Yeah, piracy is always a really big concern, especially because, like, you send out the cease and desist, but the cost of actually following through with that is so great. But then the cost to the potential reader is also, I mean, that would be a significant amount of money that they could end up owing or having to spend to defend themselves. But I mean, that's getting the watermark on. It's like, it's really the only thing you could do. So like, if you keep like your invoice, so you could be like, oh, blah, 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 bought like 002. So you know, I know who to go after.
So pirating is bad. I
is
even
bad.
put that at the front of my books. Don't be a pirate. It's bad.
Yeah.
However,
They're not all sexy like Johnny Depp.
well, however, I tried to get upset and take down the takedown notices and do all the research to find like who I should send it to, and it's usually out of the country, you know, which then costs more money to send it to them because you want to send hard copy and I don't sell enough to really be pirated. I figure that if that day comes and I become a sensation because I'm pirated and like all these people are talking about my books and all of this, then I'll give a shit. But right now I'm kind of like, oh my, every once in a while I'll get a message like, your book is up on this pirate site. I'm like, oh, which one?
I know. It's kind of like a rite of passage. Like, whoa, I'm a legitimate author. I got pirated.
I remember the first time I saw one of my paperbacks for sale on eBay, and it was like a $12 paperback that someone was trying to get like $45 for. I'm like, I've made it, or this is like how they're funneling drug money or something. I don't know, but
Yeah,
and then you want to like, the poor person who wins that.
I was kind of like, should I buy it and see if it's like dedicated to someone I know so I can like send it back to them?
Say thanks for nothing.
I just, you know, I know that it can hurt people, and it's wrong, but that's not my hill I'm going to climb.
You know, we just talked about, you know, how we spend our time, and it's like that is the least of my concerns at this point. And I don't want to spend a bunch of I don't want to spend
unless
the time.
somebody does the work for you and just tells you like how to get in touch.
But if they do the work for you, then you still got to pay. So
I try to give out enough good karma where, I mean, when I go to events, probably shouldn't say this, but I usually have it earmarked in the budget that there's going to be like 1 or 2 books that are going to go out. And I usually say it as like my blogger discount where I'm going to, you know, give a book away, whether it's an ebook or a physical book. Like I'm the sucker for, you know, someone walking around with like the it's my birthday thing. Like you're going to get something.
you're so nice.
You're going to get something free for me. But now like if like 8 people in one signing did that, then it probably wouldn't be the same. But
as a reader, it's not hard to get a discounted book or a free book or win a book. I mean, it's not hard.
Not for me. I am tighter than Mr. Krabs there.
You look for Zoe Bubs, but you know, there are ways to get on the ARC teams. Hey, you want free books from this author?
Yeah.
Sign up for their ARC team. You know, you can always also send them an email where you beg. Sometimes those work. Some people are cold and really cold and heartless.
Yeah.
It's like, you only have 8 things wrong in your life, honey. Take a minute. We got 12. Hit me up again. But, so I'm always like, hey, if that one guy in Bangladesh can read in English and wants to read that book, I hope you enjoy it.
And didn't mind paying $105 for it. Okay.
Go for it.
If you're looking for like more bluster and steam for me, I kind of like got it all out with it. It's just a
good.
digital
You
asset.
you said your piece.
No, because no one's going to listen. It's going to be like a bouncing ball.
As an author, and because those kind of things hurt the little people, hurt those of us who are, making sure that, not making sure that Amazon stays in business, but, there's so many vendors on Amazon. I actually, side note, I bought 2 long sleeve black shirts from 2 different vendors on Amazon. Got it. Exact same shirt, same tag, everything. It was just a different vendor of that shirt. So, so now I got to return it. And, the poor 2 vendors, I got to figure out who charged me the most, and they're getting the return. But, Amazon is getting its money from the little people. And so if you're boycotting, you're not hurting Amazon. You're hurting those of us who are making, I wish that we as indie authors didn't make the bulk of our money off of Amazon, but we do.
I know for printed books, I am trying my hardest to go with other printers without it, because I don't want to raise my prices to be astronomical, because I like to read a lot. I don't want to price my books per book where it's going to deter a lot of people from buying, because and then that's a fine line too, because like it is very expensive to produce a book. And granted, like you pay that the one time, like with your edits or re-edits and your cover and stuff, but the amount of hours myself, like I feel like we pay ourselves pennies per hour, if that, or per day, like for the amount of like work that may go into a book, depending on like how but you have like a lifetime's worth of potential to earn it back. That's how I kind of.
That's what. So when we're not making money ourselves because we're still trying to recoup the cost of the editor and the cover artist and any promotions and things like that, we're hoping that in the long run we're going to recoup that cost. But it is a long run.
It is.
And so is that for you to have in your own stock, different vendors that you've gone to, or for people to buy through?
Well, for like my contemporaries, I feel like I have a lifetime supply of my contemporaries, because I just like way ordered in bulk when I was doing a lot of signings, and I'm like, I'm never gonna sell this many, even if they start like selling like hotcakes. But for like, I don't even know if it'll be for this signing season, because I'm still trying to like order 1 or 2 from here just to see what the quality is gonna be like. Just so it's not coming through Amazon, because Amazon's quality on print books, it really depends on what printer you get it from. Sometimes I get one out of Louisville. I've gotten some from like Washington before. Like you never know. And it always bugs me, like when you're at an event and you're selling your books, and like you can have such color variation because you don't know what printer it came from. And even like,
I got one where they it was an order of 25 and somebody mistrimmed one. It was like half an inch shorter than all the others. I'm like, you couldn't see this.
And that happens too. And that's why I know we've talked about like local printers, because Sutton uses one. Is it somewhere in Indy? I know there's one in Cincinnati.
It is.
Just
the problem with the local printers, the problem with doing it one-on-one with a printer is that then your quantities have to be so big to make it to bring the cost down, which then you're like, okay, do I want that many copies of my book? So it is. Now I know that Barnes and Nobles will do print books now.
I've heard good things. I'm waiting on my one from Barnes and Noble. Did you used to do Ingram Spark for your prints?
I have, yeah. And I was on their Facebook group, and it's so funny because there are always people who are like comparing Ingram Spark with Amazon and the quality, and Ingram Spark is always so much better. But then everybody was like, they use the same printers. Yeah, so it's just like,
They want them to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think a lot of it is they want them to be better. And that one, I I stay. I mean, with Amazon, they print it. Yes, there's a color differential, and I'm like, oh, look, you get a darker one. It's a darker story, apparently. And I go on.
But that's the cover. I mean, we're for my kids' books, that's one thing. But for our basic, it's like it's the cover. Everything else is black and white. And we're fine.
Yeah, if I can send you the JPEG of the cover, and you can, I don't know, blow it up, make a sleep with the doll, whatever. Fine.
I'll make you a blanket with it.
That's not my thing. But I mean, it again. There's a lot behind the scenes that I think the people that are pushing for these things, they don't fully understand. Thank you for sitting through my economic class.
Thanks for coming to Sports Head Talk.
Cindy, I totally get your frustration, because it's like, look at the big picture. It's nice to say. I remember back when we were like, oh, boycott getting gas. Okay, we're not getting gas on this day. I'm either going to get it the day before. I'm going to get it the day after. I'm still going to get gas. I got to get the gas. So the gas station is still going to get my money, just not on this particular day. And I don't know any gas station that's going to, we got to close our doors because they didn't get any gas sales on a day, and I just feel like this is kind of the same thing.
Well, if you're upset at Amazon about the not letting you download your digital files, a lot of times, because is that where like the DCRM or whatever, like, because something, I mean, authors, I think had a little bit. I think that's
where you can't share the file with somebody.
Ooh. Okay, so
I can't loan my book out to you.
Okay.
And I think as indie authors, I don't think we're
Have we ever loaned? I mean, personally, have you ever loaned a book?
No.
I mean, I've never loaned an ebook. I mean, if I love it, I tell my friend to buy it, or I buy it for them and send it to them.
I have, like, in the past, because it was a book that I wasn't sure someone was gonna like, and I'm like, read
you're
it.
So thoughtful.
Yeah, but
I'm not just here. Read this. You're gonna love it, and if you don't, you're still gonna love it because I gave it to you.
I mean, if for like a call to action, if you're really wanting to make big change, then do Kobo, do the Kobo Plus, Kobo. Oh my gosh, do Kobo Plus. Maybe like check and see if the authors sell direct, because I mean, I don't have selling ebooks direct on my website yet, but at all events I can sell you like an ebook direct, so you can buy it from me. You have the file, you can put it on whatever device you want. You'll have one download of it,
But see, there even doing Kobo, it's the same situation. Like, you don't physically own the file.
You won't have the
so
file.
if that's the issue, then you're going to have to
hard copies.
You're going to have to buy the physical book.
Let me know what you do with this hard file. I want to know. Respond to this video with what you do with it.
What you're going to do with it? You're going to print it out and pass it around at work.
I would like to think that people that's the way they're doing it, and they're not like passing that around.
They're like acting
Could you
it out.
imagine how much money they would spend in ink and paper to print out?
I used to print out my books. I used to print them out and proofread them. I did. I mean, I can't tell you how much paper and ink I used.
I think I'm going to show my being naive here, that a lot of times the book pirating sites probably got started by, hey, I really liked this book. I'm going to share it with, my book club or my friends. Because I know not everyone can afford to buy the book, or they might not like it enough to buy the book. So, but that is stealing. Like, whether or not you want to admit it, like the $10 ebook that you've bought, if you've printed it out or you've got the digital copy and you're distributing that is stealing. That's stealing from the author. And whether or not it's an author that is making millions or tens of dollars or less, it's still stealing.
And the goddess of words is going to get you.
Yeah.
That's bad karma right there. You are sowing bad karma.
You are. You're going to get it.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
So shame.
We're shaking our fingers.
Well, I think a lot of people go into it with like, it's just one book. What's it going to matter? But like, it's the one
they
book
make
that the
so
potential.
much money.
Oh, yeah, they're authors. Therefore, they're rich. I mean, I get that. As a substitute, I get that all the time. Oh, you must make bank. Yeah, that's why I substitute teach, because I'm just rolling in it.
I love the kids.
Yeah,
I love being with kids.
I love the public school system so much.
Because I get to spend the day with you. That's why I substitute teaching.
I love you so much.
Yeah. But comment below if you or someone you know likes to have the hard copies of ebooks and what they do with them. And do you think it's stealing if you have the hard copy and you give it to somebody else?
And remember,
Do you
the
disagree?
goddess of books will come knocking on your door.
I mean, Bill will pay to actually get the DVD of a movie because he doesn't want, because he understands if you just buy it online, you know, if you go to Disney Plus and you buy it there, if they go away, so does the movie.
Well, I had bought a lot of movies off of Vudu, and then Vudu, because Vudu was owned by Walmart, and then Vudu got bought by Fandango, so it was like Vudu Fandango, and then Vudu went full Fandango, so like twice. So twice all of my digital movies like disappeared, and you know, of course I'm a little pissed because this is like years and years, so it was a lot of money, but also it was, you know, call to customer service, be like, hey, they're not linking to sync back up, but. If it's something that I really like that's why I have like digital copies of books. Sometimes I'll have like both covers of the copies. If it's something that I'm not willing to lose or part with if the digital stuff goes away.
Well, it's like how Gen X had too. We got our records. Then we had to get the tapes. Then we had to get
Wait,
the
you've
CDs.
got the 8-track.
Now we got, the 8-track. Yeah, before the, albums, 8-track, then the cassette tapes. Then we had to make our mixes off of the radio. Then we had to buy the digital version. And it's like, can we stop having to re-buy every...
Oh, and now we're going back to vinyl because, hey, vinyl's cool.
I know, right?
Well, and unless you're doing like the, you know, gonna buy the, oh God, what is it called? Like the raspberry pop, not like an actual eat raspberry, but the sort of, I don't know, it's like the hard drive where you can like download the internet. So if like, you know, everything goes bad and the internet like disappears, you still have access to Wikipedia, like everything, you could download Wikipedia. Unless you're doing that and like gonna have like solar to power your digital devices to get the ebooks, like, you know.
I love that. That was like...
I mean, it's just a what end. It's, yeah. Okay.